Hi there, Sandra here from Create in Spain. Today I am going to do a bit of experimental design. I think this will work, but I've not tried it before, so we will have to wait and see. Now what I want to do is to make a cake topper. You might think, well, there's nothing really unusual about that, but no, it's not going to be quite a straightforward cake topper. You should know me by now. I want to make one that's going to light up. And why not? I can do lighting up cards, why can't I do lighting up cake toppers? So I thought about this and I think I've made a design that will work. So we have at the back of the topper, we have a front decorative panel. Now I know this isn't super duper decorated at the moment because this is an experiment. I'm not going to do loads of decor and then have to junk it just in case it doesn't work. I have a piece of acetate cut out so that I can make basically like a shaker type thing. I have a coffee stirrer which I can use to attach on the base of this so that this will be able to be stuck into a cake with no food safe worries at all. And I have some lights. These are taken from a string of battery operated fairy lights. Now what I've done here is on one end of these, oops, word furled. What I've done is I have taken the coating off, and you do that either with a nice gritty emery board, or if you happen to be someone who does nails with one of these, you can use this type of thing. And what you do is you put this onto a piece of foam so that you don't have to hold it, and then you switch it on. You just do that. It makes it quicker than doing it by hand. You want to be able to see the changing colour. This end bit where you've taken the coating off should look coppery. Difficult to see, I suspect. And that enables you to take a battery. Now this is a CR032. And here we have my lights lit up. You can also use a CR016. Always get them, turn around the other way. And that will do the same thing. Okay, this is one that I tend to use for cards because it is that much thinner. Because this is a bulkier item, I would be quite happy to use this in it. It's not going to make any difference to the width of the item itself when it's made, so you could use either. The other thing that I have is a piece of what happens to be foam draft excluder. It's got a sticky tape on one side and the other side is not sticky at all. What I've done is taken a craft knife and I have put a little slit in the top edge. Now this is where the sticky bit is, okay, and this is the top, or the side edge I should say, the side wall, and that goes all the way along. Okay, now make sure you stick it with the slit side to the inside. You want to avoid this little circular shape here because that's what's going to be flipped backwards and will allow you to access the battery to switch it on and off. I want to have it so that actually what I will do is take a pair of tweezers and I'm going to curl the ends around a bit. And the reason for that is because it makes a slightly better contact to the battery. If that's done, I'll just take my glasses off to see what I'm doing. Sorry. Yeah, Alison will be chuckling as I say that. She always thinks it's extremely amusing that I take my glasses off to see what I'm doing. Now, there we go. They both have little curls on, one slightly more than the other, so I'll do that. There we go. So it looks a bit like a heart shape. Not for artistic reasons, solely practical reasons, believe me. Now, one of these is going to go on one side of the battery and one will go on the other side. I will suss out which one is going where, or which side, which way around the battery goes, I should say. I will suss out at another point. in time. Now I can, because I've put this in place, just lift up the top edge of this foam and put my wire inside. Okay, now if I take a battery around the other way, it lights up. There we are, you see. And this one just happens to be multicoloured. You can get them in different colourways. This one's a nice multicoloured one. So there we go. That's pretty good. Now what I want to do is to stop this piece here with this piece of wire contacting with the battery. The easiest thing to do is to take a piece of acetate that I cut the heart from in the first place and just cut a little strip like so. And I can place that down there. I've just had to rewire this because I went to trim some tape at this end and I cut through the wire, so I had to take it out and rewire it. But in actual fact it was easy enough to do. It went in really quickly, unlike the first time I did it. The other thing that I realised that I hadn't done, on this circular piece on the base you want to put a piece of double-sided tape and then take the cover off the double-sided tape and stick that coil on there. Okay, so that's actually stuck in place and it's not really going to move anywhere. Now I've already tested which side it needs to go up, and if I do that I will get my lights on. So I know this is the one that I need to put my other piece of tape on. Now because this foam tape here is a little bit thicker than the battery, I decided I would put foam tape on top of the other side of the battery to level it up. I don't want it having a dip in it. So this will stop my battery from going on. At the moment I can press that firmly down and it won't do anything, so that's fine. So I've got that bit done. Now I need to make sure that I get my stick and I stick that in place. Now I would normally use a hot glue to do that, but in this particular case, because I'm just demonstrating, I'm just going to do it with double-sided tape again. Not something I would normally do, but for demo purposes it'll keep it in position. Wouldn't be strong enough normally, which is why I wouldn't normally use the double-sided tape to do it. Same depth as the rest of it, which is probably going to involve yet another layer of foam. Actually, what I should have done is just taken another piece of the draft excluder. That would have done the trick, but there we go. Yeah, that will be about the right sort of height for it. Okay, so all I've done in this particular case is stuck a load of gems on the back of it. And the reason for doing that is because the gems with their facets will actually make the light look even brighter, and it'll reflect in all sorts of different ways. Now, if I were doing this to actually physically put on a cake at the moment, I would do my vinyl cutting, or I would etch a pattern or whatever I was going to do on this before I apply it to this. But because this is simply demonstration, then I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to remove the backing of the double-sided tape that I've got on top of my foam. Right, once that's in position, you can put your decor piece on. So here's my finished cake topper. It looks pretty good. I just jazzed it up with some gems around the outside edge. I think this would be absolutely adorable for something like a baby shower or a christening or something like that as well. I just think it would be so cute. Now you turn it over and you have the little hole where the battery sits. If you remove the plastic strip and then press that down, I think that's really rather nice. Okay, so to cap it off, I've got a couple of little things that I need to tell you. This one here was the first one that I did, and I noticed a couple of things that would make it a bit easier. The first thing is I amended the file so this inside dimension of the cover piece is very slightly smaller, and as you can probably see, you can't easily see the foam on this one. It is a bit more noticeable on that one. So that's why I did that. The other thing is, when applying the battery, put foam on this piece. Don't put just normal double-sided tape, put foam. It helps with the contact. So when you're cleaning off the end of the wire, don't clean off more than about an inch. And all the bit of the cleaned wire needs to be in the area over the battery. If you strip it back down too far, you'll find that your battery is going to be in contact whether you want it to be or not. If you put the piece of acetate through from the back rather than putting it on the inside of this layer, if you put it on, flip it so that this is open and put it that way, it will be much easier to remove it when you need to remove it for usage. If you put it on the inside, it can sometimes get a little bit too stuck, particularly with some of the double-sided foam tapes. The double-sided foam tape is far stickier than the sticky tape that I've got, and I found that you couldn't just pull it out from the side, which is what I anticipated doing. Foam tape was definitely the way to go because the contact was that much better. When I did it with just the double-sided tape, the contact was a little bit iffy. The pressure wasn't there because it wasn't sticky enough, basically. This one here, I put some little bits of mylar, rainbow mylar in there, which is very, very pretty. But if you're going to do that, make sure that you block off this edge here just below the light, otherwise your mylar is going to come out the bottom and that won't be very clever if it gets in the cake. Not very tasty. But I think these are really good fun. I think they are really nice cake toppers. I'd be very happy if something like that was on top of my birthday cake. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and have a watch of some of my other videos. You'll be surprised at what you find. Take care now.